Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Anman, your host for the next few hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning to you too.
And this is normally when you introduce like three other people.
Well, I mean, Mike is not going to be here.
Exactly.
Spence is probably not going to be here.
Pull our slack this morning.
That's fine. That's okay.
Are you up to the challenge?
Oh, I'm always up to the challenge. It always turns out to be a better show.
Good. All right, let's do it.
Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is being brought to you by Adamus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. And this broadcast is also made possible by Telestream Wirecast software. Did you hear that the news about YouTube?
Yes, I did.
That's interesting.
So I started doing. This is a big problem in the gaming field. Not just the game field, but that's the field that I'm in. And this is a big problem because you've got game companies. You won't probably be familiar with any of the names, but you've got a company like Elgato. They make capture cards. You've got another company, Astro. They make headsets, normally just gaming headsets, stuff like that.
Right.
There's another company that makes like energy drinks. And for the most part, they sponsor like a core group of people that do videos on YouTube. And at the beginning of their video, most of these people, they've got those three logos on their on the beginning of the intro of their video. And with this new YouTube policy, now quickly before we go into this, YouTube has always had this policy. This is not a new policy.
Correct.
They're just enforcing the policy now. And a lot of people are upset. And so basically, what this new policy is you're no longer allowed, if you're going to have paid advertising, for example, if Amnon had a company sponsoring the show monetarily, what he would have to do is when that contract comes out that says, Amnon and Microsoft, right? Microsoft is going to be sponsoring Computers 2K Now monetarily. That contract that comes out, he would have to include YouTube in that contract if he's going to be uploading the show to YouTube. So they want to get their hands on that profit.
The number that I've seen was upwards of 45%.
Now that number is coming off of their Google AdSense, which is Google AdSense is a total ripoff. They take 45% of that, which is absurd. And if they take 45% of this thing, if they take 45% of this ad thing, they're going to plummet themselves into the ground because nobody's going to draft a contract with YouTube when they're taking 45% of the profit. I mean that's insane. These aren't like major contracts anyway. And for YouTube to take 45% of that, that's absurd.
But they were, watching the video that Movie Buff posted from, I think it was done by Geek something.
It was done by Geekbeat, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the exact same video.
What it opens the door for, though, is They were talking about product placement. So, and if it's
Yeah.
in a story, then it's okay.
Yeah. Now the real question that everybody's asking now is how are they going to monitor this?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
how are they going to enforce this? And honestly, it's just going to be one of these things. If you're a small enough person, um, you're just going to fly under the radar. It's going to be simple as that. They're not going to come after you. If you've got a small contract with, um, a small company and you're making 50, 100, $150 from this company an episode or whatever you're doing, you're probably going to be fine. They're not most likely going to come after you. They're going to start at the top and work their way down. This happens with all their stuff.
Yes,
Um,
some other articles were talking about the six-figure
yeah,
income.
that's who they're going to go after.
Yeah.
But
But I don't know.
oh, go ahead.
It's almost like they're trying to pare it down, kind of. Say, okay, you guys don't like it, then go
Well,
somewhere else. Which
I,
somewhere else may not be a bad idea at this point.
so so I understand why YouTube is doing this. They offer a free platform for people to upload their content.
Right.
Everybody in the internet is running ad block. That's the only way YouTube is making money is with ads. So I can tell you firsthand, we had this is actually a pretty good representation here. The Infection, the podcast I do with Brian Aldridge, we had a post that went viral on Reddit. We had almost 10,000 unique hits to the website, and our little AdSense thing only tracked like 2,500 hits to the site.
Hmm.
That means all of those other people were running some type of ad block and not seeing our ad. So now if you take that number compared to YouTube, that's YouTube's main moneymaker. And now they've got all these people using their service for free and making a lot of money, and then they want to get their cut, and realistically it's not a big deal. They should be allowed to take their cut. They're offering you a free platform, and if you're going to make money on it, well, then I think they deserve to, if they want, take their little chunk of that. Now 45%, that's insane. But if they want to do, 10-15% or something like that, that's very reasonable. And I could see that being a legitimate thing.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, and you've been in this. Good morning, Steve. Uh-oh, we can't hear you even when you unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry, the Google's in behind. Good morning,
Oh,
everybody.
there you are.
The Google's in behind the microphone, so I couldn't see whether it was muted or unmuted. Good morning.
Morning. So Nick, when you go on YouTube,
Correct,
and you watch a video and it says you can skip this ad in 5 seconds,
yes,
and comes the time and you skip it,
yeah.
what happens to the revenue for that ad?
So this is what happened. I'm going to do this right now. Now that is a choice of the content creator. So I'm going to send it to my YouTube account right now for Infection. Let me go to edit monetization. So on this video, this is what I have. I can monetize this video with
Right.
with an ad, and I have the option to allow people to skip my ad. If I don't want them to skip the ad, I can turn that option off.
Okay, I understand that, but what happens if they skip?
You get a shorter revenue stream.
Okay, so you still get something, but just
Correct, but it's literally pennies on the dollar.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Per thousands of views. Now but that's where there's like that catch-22 there. So let's say you want to make more money, right? So you don't do those ads.
Mm-hmm.
Now nobody's going to watch a 2.5-minute ad on your
Right.
4-minute video. So now you either A, cause somebody to run ad block, or B, you've turned somebody off from your video.
Yeah.
So you got to run the skippable ads. And with this podcast, we should almost be inserting ads in the middle of it, because it's, this one was an hour and 44 minutes.
Yeah, the thing is, and I'm getting really tired of it, I don't even monetize.
And there's still ads.
and there are still ads. But not only that, but every week I keep getting a notice that the theme in the beginning is copyrighted by somebody, and every week I have to dispute it and send them the link where I got it and the link to the license to play it. Every week, the
Really?
same thing.
And do they resolve it?
No, the result, yeah, the notice goes away. But I mean, why not just mark that particular theme? You know already that it is out there, that
Did you
it
write
is
that into one of
licensed.
the emails and just be like, hey, I keep sending you guys this every week?
Yeah, well, I wrote them. I don't think anybody reads it. But the point is, it says that you cannot monetize. Well, I don't want to monetize.
Oh, that's
I
the case,
mean,
then you should just leave it.
well, the thing is, it's when you go and you see it all the time, it's kind of, I mean, it bothers me.
It grates
Understood.
your gears.
Understood.
Well,
Yeah.
what'd
So
you say,
YouTube.
Steve?
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I
Steve.
said it grates your gears.
It just, I don't know. It's like the technology is half-assed. It's
Well, it's Google, and it's YouTube is an old platform. I mean,
Right.
YouTube is built on a very, very old backbone. I don't know what kind of updating they've done, but I can't imagine. YouTube still is a piece of junk, a heaping pile of junk. You upload a video, your thumbnail doesn't show up. It doesn't put it on Twitter. It doesn't go to the subscribers box. YouTube's a heaping pile of junk. I don't know if that's because of the volume or it's just built on a crappy platform, but YouTube is definitely not I would not call it a sturdy platform by any means.
One of the frustrating things is it's 9 times out of 10 everything is automated, so it doesn't get seen by a human until somebody complains.
Well, there's no way to complain. That's the thing with you.
I know, that's
The only way you have any leverage with anything at YouTube is if you are a partner with a network, and if you're with a network, you can have some type, depending on how large your network is and how big of a YouTuber you are, you can have some kind of leeway. But if you're not part of a network, good luck.
I mean, it's not a matter of, you taking away my livelihood, but it's, just these are basic things. You're complaining about something. Somebody shows you that the complaint is invalid, and you keep complaining about it every week. I mean, it seems like even automated, I mean, in the beginning, they used to send an email back and saying, good news, the plaintiff, I can't remember exactly the language, but they dropped their claim. Now I don't get that anymore, but when I go back and look at the video manager, there's no more notices that third-party material is there. It seems like even the automated one, they can look and it can look and see that in a couple of times you got that notice, you dropped it, you said okay, it's okay, and just mark it and say, okay, this particular piece of music is licensed. It's okay for anybody, not just for me, because it is available out there for free.
Yeah.
With a license. And then when Nick is trying to show how something is working and show a piece of football game or any kind of content, they're very good at picking on these things, but it's like it's a black and white. There is no gray in there. It says, okay, well, that was part of a story, so that should be okay. It's yeah. I was reading some more about it, and apparently there are some new platforms that are popping up. And at this point, really, I mean, in my opinion, YouTube is not doing us any good, because from the trees you don't see the forest. Or how does it go? From the forest you don't see the trees?
Something like that. But the YouTube is still the biggest platform. I mean, if
I
you're uploading
understand.
video online, that's
No,
where you're uploading it.
I understand, but the point, my point is that it's so huge that probably nobody sees it until you actually get in there and work it and work it
But
and work it.
that's I would have agreed with you a while ago, but Brian and I just started up. YouTube is so the problem is the saturation.
Right.
Everybody's
Yeah.
got YouTube. Everybody's uploading to YouTube.
So you started saying Brian and
Uh,
you,
Brian and I created a YouTube channel for this podcast that we're doing,
right?
and no, I honestly did not expect to have any traffic on the YouTube channel, and we've got almost 30 subscribers already in a very short amount of time. 30 subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers for the amount of for first of all the amount of let's see, how do I want to word this? The amount of people that are uploading the game that we're uploading. 30 subscribers. It's a lot of hits. So I would have agreed with you. It just seems like you gotta do something to break through the door. And then once you're through the door, they kind of just trickle down. 30 subscribers isn't a million,
And
but it's a start.
you can't I don't think you can compare what you guys are doing to everybody else. You're doing something very niche. You're
Mm-hmm.
doing something that a lot of people are looking for information about this, and there's not
True.
that many. I don't know that there's anybody out there that gives the information that you guys are doing. Tell people what you're doing, by the way.
Brian and I are doing Brian Aldridge and I are doing a podcast for a zombie survival game called H1Z1.
Kim S is asking if you could put the link in. He may be number 31 listener. Or
Sure, I'll throw our website link in there, and you can get to all of our other stuff. Get to all of our other shows from in there.
that would be awesome.
Awesome.
What they need to have, I think, is some method of balance there. So if somebody continually makes the wrong claim, then they're in some way penalized.
Well,
because
they
at the
do.
moment-
They've got a 3-strike system.
No, yeah, that's no. What
No,
I
I meant
think
for
what Steve
people
is
that are
saying, that if
making
they
wrong.
see 3 claims that it's not, then do away with the notifications. Yes, if you get 3, but you know what? Those claims that they're making against Nissan Communications because of the theme, they don't count toward those 3.
They're not copyright claims.
Yeah, well, they are copyright because they say 3 third-party copyright claim, whatever. But I don't. Somehow it's falling under a different category, so they don't count it against it because I mean, with all these, and there were a lot of them, it's still clean. Nissan Communications is still clean as far as that's concerned. But Steve, you meant if I make 3 claims that it's free, then they should do something. Is that what you meant?
Well, yeah. I mean, if the copyright holder claims that what you're using is their copyright, then if it works one way, for three claims against an individual, and they get their account kicked, well, it should be the same. Three
Right.
wrong claims, and that there has to be a punishment. Or
And I told them that, but nobody reads it, I'm sure.
No. Well, that's the problem.
That's
It's
the
human
problem.
interaction. There isn't
Yeah.
any.
Well,
That would soon stop the automated systems from their far overreaching that's happening at the moment, and make them actually look at it, as far as a human being would be concerned, to think, well, hang on, this is constantly happening, and we're losing our ability to claim copyright. We need to make sure the ones we're putting in are accurate.
that's the problem. That it is. That's what I'm saying. Technologically, it should be very easy to do this.
And
And
it's all one-sided, isn't it?
The what?
It's all one-sided. So
Yeah, it
compared
is. It
geared
is
towards
one-sided.
the copyright holder.
It's dumb. I don't understand why they leave it like that. It's probably has something to do with arrogance. Well, it's fine.
It
Let
has
him.
something
Let
to do
him.
with they just don't care.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You're
Arrogance.
gonna use their platform either way.
Yep.
Why should they fret over if you're going to if you're gonna be happy or not?
That would mean that they were looking after customer service, but that doesn't happen anymore.
They're too big for customer service. I mean, realistically.
But you know, if they lose a third of the people because of this, which
be
I
hurting.
doubt, they don't. It wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, it depends who. See, the question is, it depends who leaves.
Right. Yeah. Well, correct.
If it's Nissan Communications that gets up and leaves,
Right.
YouTube doesn't care.
Right.
But if you've got their top tier content creators going, you know what? Screw this, I'm done. Now you're talking. So it's really the question of who is going to have enough. But none of these people are going to leave. I mean, this is for a lot of these people, they're making a living off of YouTube. So they're just going to modify what they do to the rules, and they'll be safe.
No. YouTube will stay YouTube.
Correct.
It just I'm hoping that some of those new platforms that are popping up will learn from YouTube's.
I mean, look at Daily Motion, and that's a new platform, but that's a disaster. Yep. I mean, it's just extremely hard to navigate.
Right.
It's not.
But it's growing.
It's a start. Yeah.
They did not see. That's my point. They did not learn from YouTube, from the experience. Somebody should sit there and say, okay, what's good, what's bad. Let's make sure that we don't do any of the bad things, and let's see what people do want and what's the good things that they're doing.
The other problem is they rolled out day one with advertisements, which is a big no-no.
Yeah, but I mean, they have to.
Not day one. I mean, you got to do something to get people in the door. It's the same thing with these live streaming sites. You cannot roll out day one with ads. If you've got ads and YouTube has ads, you're going to stay with YouTube. You have to give people a reason to come.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's a double-edged sword, kind of.
Very much so.
You want to, and really, I mean, look, even if Nissan Communications with the different shows in the channel, if each show got its share of revenue the right way, it wouldn't be nothing.
Oh, exactly. It would be pennies, Amnon.
Right. So why force it?
What do you mean?
I mean,
why they run ads?
Then why? I mean, make it so that the little guys can keep going. That's fine. You take the revenue. I couldn't care if today.
That's what YouTube does. That's why there's ads on your videos. They're taking that revenue.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's an ad that plays before your video. You have a chance to get out on that revenue. Now, that built-in revenue sharing from YouTube is garbage. You need to be part of a multi-channel network or something like that to really be making any money.
Is this our mic here?
What?
Is this our mic in the chat?
No clue. Yeah, no, it definitely is. You're trying to purge yourself out. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's what we are.
No, that's what I am. Speak for yourself.
919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Let's see what else I have here that came up. This is not good news. It says that some analysts expect fraud to increase this year as thieves will step up their effort to capture more credit card details before the Europay, MasterCard, and Visa (EMV) standard conversion goes into full throttle. The next time U.S. cardholders receive a new card, it will probably be equipped with an EMV chip and most likely be contactless. The U.S. is finally making the transition to secure cards based on the European EMV standard, mostly because the liability shift imposed by the three big credit card brands, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. The European Union, where EMV became standard 10 years ago, we are 10 years behind here, has the lowest level of credit card fraud in the world, while the U.S. accounted for 47.3% of the worldwide payment card fraud losses, but generated only 23.5% of total volume. I mean, yes, we never had to pay more than $50, but what were they thinking of? What is that thing? I mean, if Visa is doing it in Europe, why not in the States? 10 years later?
We love our credit card fraud.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe you were just waiting to see how well it was doing in Europe and thought, well, we'll keep waiting. We'll wait another 5 years. It's been very successful over here. It works very well.
Oops. Whoever just called went away.
Oh, you didn't want to do that.
You let it ring too many times.
Oh.
You scared
Try it
them
again. There. There we go. Okay. Now it. Good morning. But we can't hear you.
Sure it's not on your end?
No, it's not. I mean, if you heard that blip,
yeah,
blip.
true.
We can't hear you.
Hello, caller.
Good morning, caller. You're on
Nope.
the air.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, I can hear y'all loud and clear. Sorry about that, because I'm on Skype right now. All right, you guys can hear me loud and clear, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now I have a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
Okay. That's all I want to hear today. I have a sports talk show which airs from Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. I've been doing it for like almost a year. It's going to be 2 years in about September. I went back at October, my bad. So it'll be 2 years once October comes.
Mm-hmm.
So far I have a lot of downloads, like since I got the website, and since I have the website, it's really my show has been improving as far as like downloads and stuff. Now I'm going into YouTube now because I'm going to have like my classic episodes on YouTube, and I already tell like, hey, you can find us at so and so, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff. How can I have like more people on YouTube than I have like downloads as far as like my show goes?
So the big thing with YouTube is what I think they either call it keywords or tags. Let me look real quick.
Yes, that's what I do. I click tags and then I put the link into where can people find my show. And then I did hashtags.
Yeah. So the big thing with YouTube is you know where you put in you put in your title, description, your tags. Make your description really juicy. Put a lot of words in there. Put a really long description in there, and that'll help you better with searching. And
Okay.
as you grow in subscribers and you grow in views, you'll show up better on search results. So make those descriptions and the keywords really, really juicy, and that should hopefully help you.
Because I have really great content, and I use when people be calling, it's called Amato. Amato, I don't know how to pronounce it right. It's like a very clear. It's like an app, like you can if I feel like I'm calling you guys, you can hear me loud and clear. It's just like I'm on the radio, like you can hear the person like on the radio, like crystal clear. It's a very, very nice app.
Well, I mean, but what about content?
Content as well.
Okay. See, that's. I mean, there are a lot of podcasts that the audio may not be perfect, but they are successful because the content is important.
Right.
Um,
In order for you to have in order for you to have the great show, you got to have like a great content as far as like the audio and stuff. Because without no audio, it's like no great show. It's like it's
yeah,
horrible.
you
It's
can.
all it's all a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it's all piece exactly. It all has to fit. I mean, great audio and lousy content, and you're not going to have anybody.
Right.
But
So like
but the other
since I well go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so you said you're getting downloads and people are going to your website. Promote your YouTube channel all the time. Promote at the beginning of the show, promote at the middle of the
Okay.
show, promote at the end of the show. Promote, promote, promote. Um,
Okay.
and as you and just when you're titling your videos, I mean, you can't do something that's so broad because if you're doing a very broad title, you're not going to show up on a search result if you don't have a lot of subscribers. And honestly, you
Right.
probably won't have a lot of subscribers. I've had this problem with every YouTube channel I've created. There's just so much content on there that there's no room for anybody else.
Right.
So
Because there's a lot of
it's
people
really
using
tough.
YouTube.
Yeah,
So I remember I always use the hashtag because I may not have a lot of subscribers, but I always use hashtags just for people to follow.
exactly. There you go. And that's a good way too. Put even posting it on Twitter. You know, you can set up YouTube to link to your Twitter account. So when you post a video or whatever, it automatically goes there. Do that. Set it so that when you add a video to a playlist, it goes there. Because people, like you said, will be searching for stuff on Twitter. And if they see it searched on Twitter, they go, hey, what's this? They go to your channel, they subscribe, and you're good.
Okay, so since I have my classic episodes on YouTube, link it on Twitter and Google Plus, so that way
Oh,
I
for
have
sure.
more followers because I do use Google Plus.
Oh, then, yeah, go ahead. Promote that on Google Plus. That's big.
All right, thank you so
Especially
much.
since
I
it
appreciate it.
integrates. It integrates so at least at this point, Google Plus integrates really well with YouTube because they're trying to get that whole thing going. So definitely.
Thank you so much.
Hey, have a good
You're
one.
welcome.
You too.
Thanks for calling. 919-518-9773. And you're welcome to do what the caller just did. Call, ask questions. We'll try and answer them.
I sent you that thing, by the way.
Okay. So if you and Steve have something to talk about, I'll
Well,
get
do you
it.
have a story to start on or a topic to start on? We'll pick it up. And then
I've got a stop. I've got topics.
give us a topic that you think I can talk about.
How about that Lenovo fiasco with the Superfish?
No, I didn't hear about it.
You don't know what I'm talking
Steve,
about?
Steve, you know about this?
I know a little bit about it. Yeah, I've
All right.
read a couple of articles.
All right, you want to do a description? I'll help you with it.
Okay, well, Lenovo on their newer computers have been putting a program on it that is actually malware, and it is making available a man-in-the-middle attack on HTTPS sites. So what would normally be a secure site, it creates its own certificate and allows it to insert ads into the sites that you're going to. And the Superfish company has basically said, oh, it's not a problem, it's not a security risk. Lenovo initially said, oh, it's nothing to worry about, it's not a security risk. Now they've backtailed on that and removed some of the statements they did make. And there's a big brouhaha or a large outrage on the internet regarding Lenovo teaming up with this Superfish company and installing this malware. It's a big serious problem. You think you're secure on an HTTPS certificated site, and they're just bunging in what ads they want over the top of your secure, so-called secure connection. So there's large outrage at the moment, and everyone seems to be backtracking and thinking, oh, actually, yes, it is a bad thing.
So but is your So your HTTPS connection is still secure. It's just after you make that connection, there's insecure content loading. Is that how that's working?
Well, yeah, but by creating their own certificate, it leaves you open to man-in-the-middle attacks, which is basically what the way they're doing this.
Okay.
So you could get hacked into easily, or a lot more easily, on a secure site or on a secure connection.
Now, see, the unfortunate thing with this is, most consumers won't know what this is, and they don't care because they don't know what a superfish is, and they just say, "Oh, well, I see the little green padlock, so I'm good."
Well, that's the problem. If you've got a certificate, then it creates a locked page or the padlock on the thing, and most people, as you say, look at that and think, "Well, I'm okay." Well, you're not okay.
Yeah. Well, at least I mean I must say at least the good thing is in terms I'm just thinking in terms of e-commerce or whatever. Most people are just doing processing on either Stripe or PayPal, so the false certificate isn't made for that. It's normally just made for the websites, right?
Well, it's made for to allow Superfish to put these ads into the sites that you're visiting.
So they
So
hijack every SSL certificate
yeah,
on the
because
computer?
the
Oh,
cer-
okay.
the certificate that they create says that they're secure,
Uh-huh.
so they can just chuck web ads
I see. Okay.
into what you're looking at. And if you happen to be on another secure site, which you think is secure, that people can't break into or see or monitor what's going on, they can. It's a
Okay.
man-in-the-middle attack. So
hmm
quite worrying to think that you buy a computer from a reputable manufacturer and they've installed rubbish like this on your computer, which takes away the security you think you've got.
I mean, did they not think people were going to find out about this? Like,
No, obviously
like
not.
what was their big idea? Like, oh, we're selling computers to people. I'm sure they won't figure out that these are bogus SSL certificates and we're shooting them advertisements. I mean, what were they thinking?
I don't know. Looking at the money probably that they got from Superfish to install this rubbish.
I guess
And
that's insane.
and you know what's the funniest thing about the claims going back and forth is that the Superfish, um, the company that wrote it, is saying that it's a safe piece of software, safe malware. It cannot hurt anybody. What an
Safe and
oxymoron,
malware.
right?
Safe and malware should never
Yeah.
be in the same sentence.
Right, I know.
It's insane. I like the way that Lenovo has backtracked now, and now they're agreeing that yes, it's wrong. We shouldn't have done it. But initially, it was like, I don't know what you're complaining about. There's nothing to be concerned about. What a load of hogwash.
The one of the part of the story goes that Robert Graham at Errata Security has published an article announcing his success in extracting the Superfish self-signed security certificate from the adware, which has caused Chinese computer manufacturers Lenovo such embarrassment in the last day. Since Superfish is already capable of carrying out man-in-the-middle attacks over secure connections on the Lenovo machines, which use the certificate, the disclosure of the certificate password presents hackers with a pre-installed hacking environment, which would be difficult to arrange by other means. The password is Comodia, is also the name of the Comodia redirector framework, which allows its clients to manipulate TCP/IP network sessions with a few simple clicks. So not only this is being used by Lenovo, but it opens the door for other hackers to come into your computer and do things that otherwise would be really difficult for them to do.
I read the latter part of the week that Microsoft is releasing something through their, what's it called?
Now this is on new systems, and of course they said that they are taking it off now. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but what harm has been done in the meantime? It's going
No,
to
I don't, and
make
I
people
don't know.
think twice about Lenovo.
Right, and would you trust them to take it off?
No, see, Microsoft is got a patch. What's their software that installed that updates regularly? Defender. They're installing. It'll be put through Defender, Windows Defender, to remove the certificate and the Superfish program.
Oh,
So Lenovo haven't done anything about it, but Microsoft will be.
it's they're saying that if you have Lenovo, then have your fresh install disk and just drop the drivers onto a USB stick. So you load them from somewhere else so you can go. But then I don't know that they didn't put it in the drivers that you can download from their website. It's just a situation where, okay, there's a virus going around, and if I go and mingle with this group here, I may and I may not get it. Some of them are okay, but there's a couple of people that are really, really sick that they can transmit the virus real. I mean, it's guaranteed to pass if you came across them. Would you go to mingle with that group? I wouldn't. So it's the same thing here. But what do you do? I mean, and this came out right after I got that NAS box that Nick and others were talking about last week, which is a Lenovo, and it has BIOS. And I'm saying, oh, shoot. Now, how can I trust this piece of hardware? It may not, it may have code in it that will open it to attacks. Or
just when you think the piece of equipment you've bought is safe, they throw a spanner in the works.
it's just, and you know what's the sad thing? We all kind of said, oh, Lenovo is fine because it's IBM. Lenovo is Chinese. It's not IBM anymore.
Not anymore now. As Alan says, it's as bad as the Sony rootkit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing is secure anymore. Nothing is as it seems.
If they can see a way to make money, then they do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Lenovo can lose a lot from something like this coming out. Either that, or they really don't care about that market of the PC.
Well, there's a lot of trust involved, and you build up that trust over a period of time with the equipment that you buy. So you think, well, yeah, I've had Lenovo products in the past and they've been good. When something like this comes out, you think twice or three times before you think, I'm not touching them anymore.
Right. Yeah, it makes no sense. It can only hurt. All right. Another thing is high speed, gigabit. So when Google Fiber started bringing gigabit internet to cities around the U.S., we wondered how the incumbent ISPs would respond. Now we know. AT&T has announced they will match Google Fiber's gigabit offering in Kansas City. Of course, there are some caveats. First, AT&T's rollout may stop as it fights the Obama administration over net neutrality. Not that it would be a nationwide rollout anyway. AT&T does not plan to offer the ultra-fast internet lines to every home in the market. Rather, he says, the company would calculate where demand is strongest, and the investment in stringing new cables promised a decent return. There are also some interesting pricing concerns. The company plans to charge $70 a month for gigabit service. But that's a subsidized price. Subsidized by what, you ask? your privacy. AT&T says if you want to opt out of letting them track your browsing history, you'll have to pay $29 more per month. They say your information is used to serve targeted advertising and includes any links you follow and search terms you enter. So they charge you $30 more if you don't want the crap.
That's not what you call charging for a better service. Like, so here's a really crappy, horrible service that nobody wants, but if you don't want all the rubbish that goes with it, you've got to pay another $30.
Right. All right. This is amazing because here in Raleigh we have what they call gigapower. They don't go to gigabit. They say that they go up to 300 up and down on UVerse. I was told when I got UVerse back in October or whatever that it will be available to people that already have UVerse right away when they roll it out. Well, they rolled it out, and I still can't get it. It's just amazing. I don't know if it's because of them fighting net neutrality. I don't know anybody that has 300 by 300. It may all be just a hoax, and they really don't have it. But I guess we'll wait and see. And I like that other story about California. And I wish Sean was here in the chat. The California Public Utilities Commission decision on Comcast Time Warner proposed merger has just been released. It's not an exciting read, but the 25 bullet point appendix to the decision is interesting. For example, number 19 says, Comcast shall, for a period of 5 years, following the effective date of the parent company merger, neither oppose, directly or indirectly, nor fund opposition to any municipal broadband development plan in California. So what they're saying here, okay, you want us to let you into California, you have to, for 5 years, you cannot oppose networks being developed by municipal, like what we have in North Carolina right now, that there it's in the law that municipalities cannot participate in building up or in helping networks come up. So they want to make sure that Comcast is not going to oppose it and not going to fund any opposition to it, which is great. I mean, this shows, yeah, they're thinking. And the thing goes, whoa, Comcast was not expecting this at all, and they're not happy about it. Here's one more. Number 8, Comcast shall offer Time Warner's carrier Ethernet last mile access product to interested competitive local exchange carriers throughout the combined service territories of the merging companies for a period of 5 years from the effective date of the parent company at the same prices, terms, and condition as offered by Time Warner prior to merger. For those of you that don't understand, the last mile is like when you get service to a location and the company that you're going to does not have cable coming into your building, but another company does, then the people you want to go to that other company and say, look, we want to bring service to this address right here. We need from you the last mile service. So they bring it to within, I mean, it's not necessarily last mile, but that's what it's called. They bring it to a point where both companies have presence, and then they bridge it over, and the last mile comes from the second company to your location. Yes, the last mile company charges the first company, your carrier, something for that segment of the cable. You never know. In most cases, you don't even know that there is a last mile deal over there. And they want to make sure that if somewhere in the picture, Time Warner or Comcast have cable coming in, and you say, I want AT&T, and AT&T does not have cables coming to your location, that AT&T can go to Comcast and say, we need you to allow us last mile service to this location, and Comcast cannot say no, and Comcast cannot charge you more because you're a competitor of theirs. So it seems like that there was some thinking going into that whole decision here, is how to protect the public, the consumers, and give Time Warner and Comcast what they want. The ruling covers all customers, present or in the future, of the merged company in California. What they're talking about is opening up last mile access, and this could be a step in the right direction, but the ruling today is definitely a surprise. It could nix the merger in California, or could light a fire under the FCC butts, or it could bring real competition to internet access in California. They are basing the California Public Utilities Commission is basing their entire decision on common carrier law. And unlike the projected FCC decision coming around the 26th of the month, the California Public Utility Commission decision has all kinds of teeth, as opposed to the FCC's Title II with forbearance approach. It could get very interesting very soon. So that's nice. That's one state that is actually doing stuff, putting language in a condition that protects their constituents. Still doesn't sound right. Constituents. And making sure that in the future there can still be competition. I mean, 5 years is a long way in technology. And I guess 5 years, they figure by then there'll be AT&T would have cables everywhere, and Google is going to come to town, and wireless is going to be more prevalent than any of the other ones. No need to run cables. So, but for the foreseeing future, 5 years, we want to make sure that other companies can continue to compete as they are today, and that merger is not going to create a monopoly, and they can say, oh, you want to come to that house, or you want to come to this building? No, sorry, you can't. That's ours.
Competition is going to benefit the general public, which is the most important thing at the end of the day.
Right. That's the whole thing, is protect the public. I mean, if because
And
otherwise
give
they
them the
can.
option.
A
At
what?
the moment, given the option. At the moment, you're stuck with just one provider, and if the provider is terrible, which invariably they are, you've got nowhere else to go. If this encourages competition, then they would be working against each other to provide the better service, and the public wins overall.
Them working against each other is a good thing for us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, they're working for themselves, and they don't care about anything because they're the only one there. As soon as you've got competition there, they're going to have to buck their ideas up and get their system and the services working properly.
Savage Pagan says that, yeah, that Comcast does use data caps, but with the higher speed, they're going to have to raise it a bunch. I mean, common sense dictates. That doesn't mean that they will. But we discussed that before. I mean, to have 2 gigabytes on your phone at 2G is one thing. To have 2 gigabytes on your phone with 4G is a whole different story, because you can go through it in no time. So we'll see. Nick, do you want to do your specials now?
Sure. Are they up there?
Yeah.
Let me get them pulled up here. Let me just check. Let's see. All right. Failed to load PDF document. Oh, there it goes, and now it loaded.
Put it here.
Okay, so filling in for Spence this week. I believe the last time I did specials was January 4th this Sunday. It was January 4th, so I might be a little rusty, so
that's all right.
I apologize. Do you want me to share the PDF, or do you want me to just have my video on?
I mean, whoever, you don't have to share it. You can talk. I mean, people can just click on the link if they want to look at it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I can do that if you want me to.
Yeah. No.
All right. So specials February 22nd, 2015, starting it off at Office Max / Office Depot. Brothers got a wireless print copy scan fax. It's the MFC J470DW. That's $59.99. Save $40 on that. It's a like I said, it's a printer, copier, scanner, and fax machine. It's one of their all-in-one kind of home printers, and that's $60 there. Toshiba's got a baseline laptop, 2 gigabytes of memory, 500 gigabyte hard drive. It is running Windows 8.1, and that's $219.99. Save $60 on that. That's a very, very baseline web browsing machine. I wouldn't really use it for anything more than that. We were talking about this last week. We talked about CD drives. Computers not coming with those now. So Memorex has got an 8X slim external DVD drive. That's $39.99. Save $10 on that. Dell has an Inspiron desktop with a Core i5 processor, again running Windows 8.1. That's $479.99. Save $100. It's with 8 gigabytes of memory and has a 1 terabyte internal hard drive. HP's got a wireless printer, copier, scanner, and faxer. It's the HP OfficeJet 5740, and that's $119.99. Save $30 on that printer. And I pulled this one out. This is actually a nice, another nice baseline laptop. This is a Dell Inspiron with a Core i3 processor. It's got 4 gigabytes of memory, and it's a 15.6-inch screen. And that's $399.99. Save $150 on that. It's got up to 6 hours of battery life. So if I don't know how accurate that is, but this could be like a nice portable machine. And then HP's got their Pavilion 17.3-inch laptop with 6 gigabytes of memory and a 1 terabyte hard drive for $429.99, and save $200 on that. Working on over to Staples, they've got an Epson Expression XP410 small all-in-one printer. That's $59.99. Save $40 on that. Again, print, copier, scan, fax. There's a Windows 8 PC. It doesn't say 8.1, says Windows 8, and it's an HP. It's $249.99, and it's got one of the new Pentium processors in it. So not a bad budget desktop if you're looking for something like that. Does not come with a monitor or keyboard and mouse combo. Just from the picture, it is the desktop tower. And Dell's got actually an interesting. This is a touchscreen laptop, and the price on it's actually really good. It's $299.99. It's a touchscreen with a Core i3 running Windows 8.1. It's a 15.6 inch, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and a 500 gigabyte hard drive. And you save $250 on that. And if you're looking to maybe get into touchscreen computing, this is a very entry-level machine, and the price actually on this is really good. These touchscreens aren't normally lower. I haven't seen them normally lower than $400, so save $250 on that, and that's a good buy there. And if you're in the market for a Chromebook, you can get the Toshiba Chromebook at Staples, and it comes with a free Chromecast. So if you're already in the market for that, that's $329.99. And comes with a free Chromecast there, so you can get the Chromebook and the Chromecast, and the cost of the Chromecast offsets, so the laptop's really only like $300, which isn't a bad deal for that. We've got a Lexar 16 gigabyte flash drive, $799, and for $5 more, you can get the 32 gigabyte model, and that's $1299. That's again at Staples, and Staples, it seems like the only one now that still has Windows 7 machines in their circulars every week. So they've got a Toshiba Core i3 with 6 gigabytes of memory, a 750 gigabyte hard drive. It's 15.6 inch, and it's $399.99. Save $200 on that. So if you're still hanging on to Windows 7 there, you can get that over at Staples. And Samsung's got a 24-inch widescreen LED monitor for $149.99. That's a good price on that. And HP's got one of their all-in-one desktops. So this is with the new Pentium processors, 4 gigabytes of memory, a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and it's the 23-inch version of that. And it's $479.99. Save $150 on that. And that does have Windows 8.1, and it does not appear to be touchscreen. So that's $479.99, and that's at Staples. Moving over to Best Buy, they've got their Canon Pixma, which is their big printer line. This is a wireless all-in-one printer. It's $79.99, save $70 on that. SanDisk, their SD cards, 16 gigabyte model, that's $12.99, save $22 on that. And this next product is actually really interesting. I was looking at these laptops a little while ago. This is their HP Stream 13.3 inch laptop, and it's got the Intel Celeron. This is very comparable to what you'd get with a Chromebook, except it's running Windows. And the one downside of this laptop is it comes in either a baby blue or a pink, which is honestly the reason I didn't pick it up. It's if you're looking for a small machine like a Chromecast, like a Chromebook, but you need to run Windows on it for some Windows apps, this HP Stream's a good buy if you don't mind either baby blue or pink, and that's $279.99, and that's with the Celeron 2 gigabytes of memory. And here's a Toshiba internal 2.6 inch hard drive. This is a laptop drive. It's $49.99, save $25 on that. And PNY's got their Turbo Plus 32 gigabyte USB 3.0 flash drives for $15.99, save $44 on that at Best Buy. And Lenovo's got a 15.6 inch AMD A6. That's 8 gigabytes of memory, a 1 terabyte internal hard drive, $349.99. It's a really good price for that computer with 8 gigabytes of memory.
And comes with a free Superfish.
Exactly, it does come with free Superfish, so you can get that as well. But honestly, that's a really good price for an A6 with 8 gigabytes of memory and a terabyte hard drive. $349 is not bad with that. And another Lenovo computer. This is a Lenovo desktop, 8 gigabytes of memory, a 1 terabyte hard drive. Doesn't come with a monitor, but does come with keyboard and mouse. $679.99, save $50 on that. And it's always, at least in the winter, it's always, maybe now might be the good time to buy that, the APC UPSs, the power-saving black UPS XS 1500. That's $169.99, save $30 on that. It's always good to have a UPS. That's Office Max, Staples, and Best Buy. So there we go. There's
That's
our
a good
specials for
that's
the
a
week.
good size UPS.
It is very good size. So, and plus, it's always the winter. It seems, at least if you're somewhere where snow is a thing, always good to have those
Well, all year
UPSs.
long, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
In the
but
summer,
especially in the winter, it makes you think about it a little more.
Good for peace of
very
mind.
nice.
Exactly. Even if you've got power flickers or fluctuations, the power's flickering a little bit on and off here last night, and having the UPS there just gave me a little more peace of mind.
Right. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, there we go. So
Good
if
job.
Spence is back next week, I'll do that. But if he's not, I'll do it again. We'll see.
He may be back. I think he's coming back on Sunday, so he may not. We'll find out.
Yep, shouldn't be a problem.
I saw Tim was saying, sorry, tried to clear cookies. Tim, what was the reason that you were trying to do that? Did something stop working? Oh, Bill's saying.
For his chat name.
Tim S. He's now Timothy S.
Oh no, that's not gonna work with the thing with the chat is the reason why you guys cannot just drop out and come back with the same name is not your fault. It's something on the server. It's because the chat that we're using is a combination of PHP and JavaScript. JavaScript keeps record of who's online. And when it's working the way that it should, it builds a log worth of gigabytes because it is checking it all the time. Checking everybody continuously. So we set it up that it does not do that because it was becoming a problem. It inflates the actual web logs of computers2k.now.com and makes it huge for no reason. I mean, it's just the way that they decide to do it. So that's why you can't come back with the same name. Yeah, JavaScript. Sometimes it works, but the side effects is that everything is going into the weblog. So, but it's no big deal. I mean, it's fine. Now, Tim, I was wondering, did you get my message to you to send a request to Computers 2K Now, or did that kind of go by the wayside because of this problem?
As an extra to that, if you do need to leave the chat, just type in /quit.
Yes.
And then you can come back with your username you were using. It's only if it crashes or you just shut the browser.
Yeah. /quit will actually gracefully let you go. I just Tim, I just want you to send a request so I'll have a way to chat with you from the other machine. I did not mean for you to come in on Skype. So here's something else. We were talking about Samsung listening on us, eavesdropping. Samsung televisions are far from the only seeing and listening devices coming into our lives. If we're going to freak out about a Samsung TV that listens in on our living rooms, we should also be panicking about a number of other emergent gadgets that capture voice and visual data in many of the same ways. Samsung competitor, the LG Smart TV, has basically the same phrase about voice capture in its private privacy policy, which says, please be aware that your spoken word includes personal or other sensitive information. Such information will be among the voice information captured through your use of voice recognition features. It isn't just TVs. You ready for that? Microsoft Xbox, Kinect, Amazon Echo, GM's OnStar. Be careful what you do in that car. Chevrolet's MyLink and PDRs. I don't know what PDRs are, but I guess it's something the same as OnStar. Google's Waze. I mean, you think this is just a this is just GPS. And HelloSense all have snooping capabilities. So it's all over the place.
We're all going to have to learn sign language.
A what?
We're all going to go out and learn sign language.
Well,
they've got cameras built in so that they can still see what you're saying.
It's just, I think you need to do something that will not allow certain that you can disconnect the microphone on the thing. And I don't know what happened here, but my chat went away.
My stream died.
Interesting.
How about you were talking about being monitored, and now look what happens.
Vaughn is working.
I just did a refresh and it works.
Yeah, that's when the chat went away. It's working for you?
Yeah, I just did a refresh. It works.
Okay, so it must be something to do with this particular because no matter which one I go to, I see the picture, but it's frozen. Oh,
just refresh the entire
there it
page.
comes. I mean, everybody is there, but they. No, it's got to do with the T1 because this computer that I'm.
The T1 dropped?
No, it's not that it dropped. It may be used. I mean, remember it's only 1.5 megabits. And it's used for other stuff, so it may be the yeah. Now that I refreshed, JustCast is showing like it should. But the chat is still. Oh well, it'll come back. So yeah, Nick, did I hear you saying? And I know Brian is not here. Brian has the Amazon Echo.
Yeah, he pre-ordered one. He got one.
I pre-ordered one. I didn't get it yet.
I don't know if he got his yet, but he ordered it.
Yeah. But that opens up a whole thing. Not that we do anything that.
Well, no, but your smart TV. There's a chance that some smart TVs have microphones built in. I mean, your cell phone's got a microphone built in.
Right.
Everything.
Yep. And they can
turn
it
on. If you've got an Xbox, it's got that microphone built in. If you've got a PlayStation, it's got the mic built in.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we're talking about. So it's an interesting situation.
It is, but that's what we want.
That's what we want.
That's what we want. We want everything to be voice activated as fast as we get it. That's what we want. Now this is the consequence.
And then we're gonna just have one big party.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Welcome to 2015.
Well, that's what it's gonna be. Everybody wants the best. They want the easiest. They want to look at the TV and not have to touch anything and just say a channel. Yeah, it works great for that, but it's going to listen to you too.
Yeah,
Something you got to deal with. You can't have it both ways.
that's right. That's a correct.
So you do what you do.
So what else is happening?
In terms of what?
Yeah, technology and
Oh,
what you got?
what do I have with technology? Let me see. Huh.
I don't have anything. I've looked at loads of things this week, but there's been nothing that's jumped out and gone, wow, look at that. That's incredible technology. Wow, look at that. That's incredible. One thing I could say is to any Chinese listeners or viewers out there, happy Chinese New Year.
Oh yes. There we go. Trying to think what
That was me.
I saw that. Heard that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think technology this week.
I see the Pirate Bay are taking back on some of the old moderators now, so a lot of the junk on the site should be gone soon.
Yeah. that appears to be a thing.
They're not taking in any new ones, but they're only taking on the ones that used to do it.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing.
A very good thing. Well, I guess it depends what side of the
Copyright
rope
venture
you're
on.
on.
Yeah.
That may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing. Ah, crap. I know there's something I have. Just can't think of it.
You do?
Yeah, there was something this week. There got to be something. There must have been something this week. I was off all week where I could have.
Timothy's saying Apple Watch in April, he thinks.
Yeah, that was rumored.
Did you see the reports about Apple poaching some EV electric vehicle?
I did.
From some other company that they were.
That may have been what I. Yeah, that may have been what I was thinking of. Yeah, they're gonna hop right on board with BMW and everybody else and make their own car.
Which is interesting. I mean, to go from a electronics company of stuff you carry around with you to making possibly an electronic vehicle, that's one huge leap.
It's a huge leap, but the other thing is they can't do their typical Apple price scheme with a car.
No,
because that literally will not sell.
Interesting to see what they come up with, though. But at the moment, it's just a rumor.
It'll be very interesting. I don't think I'd drive an Apple car, though. That's just my personal opinion.
The leaves would get in the way, wouldn't they?
Exactly. Can't have that.
I had a run-in with a computer this week that haven't had before.
Where'd you run into it? Oh, okay.
A customer called, said, Amnon, I've got a virus. I need you to fix it right away if possible. I said, well, bring it over and we'll look. He brought it over and the screen showed your files have been encrypted with BitLocker.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, dear.
And my first reaction was, well, I don't know if there's anything we can do here. But, yeah, Jason. So I went and started reading. I told him, leave it here because that's not going to be something that's going to take a few minutes. And it turns out, and that's the way I understood it, that unless you go to their website, because they give you a key and they told you where to go and what to do to fix it. Of course, it's all, you should not do anything, and good thing they didn't do anything. If you go to the website and you try to enter that key to decrypt your files, that's when it encrypts them. If you don't do anything, then you can clean it. Now, it's not easy, but you can clean it. So it took about 3 hours to go through and remove everything. And even then, when he came and I gave him the invoice, I said, look, you got your um, inventory coming up Monday, and that's what you need it for. So don't pay the invoice until Monday, until you see that it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. I had other situation before that you think the thing is clean, and bam, it comes right back after a few days. So we'll see. But this was my first run-in with, and I'm glad that that he did not do anything. Well, how did I remove it? Oh boy. I used all the tools that I used to remove virus. I used Malwarebytes. I used Avast. I used ADM Cleaner. I used Super Antivirus, Super Anti Spyware. I went through the registry and removed every reference to BitLocker that I could find. But of course, I never understood these people that write these programs. Why don't they use weird names? Why do they use something that points to their program? I never understood that. Morning, Gene. Welcome back.
Don't give them that idea, Amnon.
The what?
Don't give them
Don't
that
give them.
idea.
I'm sure there must be a reason. Not being that I'm not a programmer, I don't know why, but there must be a reason. So I used a whole bunch of different programs. Hitman Pro. It's what I did is after reading and researching, I took from different places. I took bits and pieces from different places. But let me tell you, the best one that I came across, and you have to be very careful with it, is that I believe it's called ADM Cleaner or ADW Cleaner. Somebody do a quick search and see if there is such thing as ADW Cleaner. You have to be very careful with it.
Yes.
Because what it does, okay, so it's ADW.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very careful because you can screw up the machine. It's just like what's the other one that they said not to use before doing certain things? Oh, shoot. I stopped using it. I can't remember the name of it. But this one will go and scan different programs. And the main thing is the registry. And I don't know why it comes back with everything checked. And they tell you to make sure that you only delete something that you know is malicious.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought that it'll come back and everything is unchecked, and it allows you to check, because what I end up doing is, especially on the registries, uncheck everything and then go and check the ones that look like they belong to that program. So it was just process hack, combo fix. Yeah, combo fix is the one that that is very hard, very dangerous to use. Not hard, very dangerous to use. But if you got nothing to lose, then it works. ADW Cleaner is very fast, but you need to be very careful with it. I don't think CCleaner has a registry cleaner in that effect.
Not in that effect, no. It just clears out dead links and things.
Yeah, that's all it does. It takes out things that don't belong there anymore because you remove the program or things like that. But it doesn't clean. ATF, you need to be, I don't know if there's a new one, but ATF doesn't do anything more than what CCleaner does. And ATF, the version that I had, would screw up Windows 7.
Oh, that's no good.
There's no reason. I mean, there's no reason to use ATF. You can use CCleaner. It's being updated all the time, and to just clean and remove dead links like that, dead keys, you use CCleaner. CCleaner, Alan, CCleaner works for what it's designed for. I like the uninstall of CCleaner. If you go to CCleaner and go to the uninstall section of it, there are a lot of programs that you will not see in add or remove or in programs and features. Something that you already removed will be there in CCleaner, and you can uninstall it. It has a lot more detail to how it uninstall a program.
It's more thorough.
There you go. That's the word.
The English language, you see.
Yeah, Gene, you see, if you're using CCleaner, there's no reason to use ATF. It's redundant. But that was my weekly virus cleaner.
There you go.
It's no fun, and then you go into the quote unquote politics of the thing. So I asked him, I said, so you're using this? He says that this machine is only used 4 times a year for inventory. Otherwise, it's just sitting there on the shelf. I said, no, somebody actually went in and surfed and got this infected. That doesn't happen just like that. And he said, well, I'll need to talk to some people and see who's using it because they should not use. So what I ended up doing after asking him if it's okay, I took out all the browsers. So there's no way to browse anywhere. Of course, IE are just hid. But if somebody knows how their way around the computer, they can find it. And I went and actually reset Explorer and then hit it so nobody would do it, because this is the owner of the company, and somebody on the floor obviously said, oh, there's a machine, let's just take it out and go surf. And it's the only computer that he has for inventory, which was another thing. I said, nah, you need to have another one, because he was panicking when he called. This was Friday. No, this was Thursday. And we have inventory coming up on Monday. I got to have it fixed by then. I said, well, thank you. No pressure. I'll do my best.
And did you do your best?
Well, I always do my best.
Well, then there you
Come
go.
on, you know that.
Exactly.
So we'll see, but I still don't trust everything. Yes, Brent. I mean, ADW Cleaner is very good to get everywhere. I mean, all the tabs are good to clean with it, but you have to be very careful, and especially careful with the registry tab. But yeah, it cleans everything really nice. Now, Alan is saying, on my Mac, I use terminal script up called.
On the Mac, it just works. So
that's interesting. I mean, when people call and say they have a Mac and what should they use, I don't know what to tell them. But here's one. So, Alan, what does flush what does Flush do? Is it actually like a antivirus? It's a scanner that goes through the computer and cleans it. I mean, the word flush doesn't explain what it does. Steve, did you get 1 gigabit yet?
1 gigabit. What, on internet? No. They still haven't upgraded my portion of the street. I don't know what's going on. Why we're so different to the rest of the estate around where I live. Everywhere else has got it except this section of road with about 30 houses in it.
It's idiotic.
It's madness. I know that it is a very big box at the bottom of the street. The cabinet is quite large, but nope, we haven't got it yet. I had something interesting happen. Interesting, it's boring really, but my father's got a very basic cell phone, and he looked at it, what was it, Wednesday morning, and it had SIM locked on it. And then I saw it when I went down to see him on Thursday, and I said, well, were you pushing any buttons? He said, well, only when it said SIM locked, I was pushing various buttons and things, but nothing seemed to work. So I took it into the shop where we bought it, and they said, oh, you'll need to take it back to Orange, the service provider. Took it back to them, and they said, oh, it's the phone's just decided the SIM reader stopped working. I said, well, why would it just decide to stop working? It's not like he uses it every day. It's only there for, contacting family and emergencies, really.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up having to buy a new phone. He bought a Doro. Dad's 84, so he doesn't want one with a camera in it and one with databases and you name it on it. But yeah, it's very limited nowadays. Everything seems to be a smartphone.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
There was about 3 there that were just limited phones, basic phones. The rest of them were all smartphones, upwards of sort of 30, 40 pounds, which is insane.
That seems to be the big problem. Can't get anything cheaper.
Yeah, but
Or I'm sorry, not getting anything cheaper. Can't get anything that's not smart.
Yeah. He said, I don't want a touch screen and all that. I just want something with big buttons on it so I can see them. But we did manage to locate one, a Doro. The one he had before was, I can't remember now, but there seems to be a limit or a limited selection for people that are perhaps elderly that just want to have a basic phone for, contacting their relatives. They need to improve that market.
But the question is, how big is that market?
Well, I imagine it's fairly big. I mean, you've got a lot of elderly people who may not be able to get to their house phone that could have a cell phone in their pocket for emergency situations.
Yeah. I just wonder for a company how big of a market that is. Like Samsung, they're looking at, because Samsung still makes some flip phones. Of them, how big of the market is your father, Steve? Is it large enough where they go, yes, we got to develop some of these phones, or is it where it's just kind of like it's far and few in between and you got to get going?
It's not everybody needs a smartphone, and it just needs a basic phone for communication. But luckily, there was 2 on the market which suited.
That's good.
But yeah, it's it was a concern to me to think that he's got no way, because he doesn't have a home phone now, so he's only got a mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
Should something happen and he fall over and is in a heap somewhere, that he can have contact with the outside world.
It's good to have.
Peace of mind.
Exactly. Got it.
Tim, I lost the chat, but I think I saw that you were trying to send something while I was working on it, and now I don't have any of the other tabs. So if you sent me something, send it again. The thing about the UK is that now they found a way, like we talked about last week, to bring you that high speed over your copper wire. They don't need to replace the wire in most cases.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is it G something? I think
G-Fast. Yeah.
PFAS, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be putting that out across the country in a slow rollout, but it should be coming soon.
Yeah. That would be nice.
That's one of the good things with the UK is we have got competition there, so that's what drives the prices down.
That's always good to have.
Nick Tim is asking, how's the new PC working?
Oh, it's working well, very well actually. I'm happy. It was a much needed upgrade.
You to tell us a little bit. I mean, as far as CPU loads and heat and
Minimal. I mean, I don't even bother looking. Like that used to be something I stressed over. You know, how's my CPU load doing? Do I need to close out of this? Do I need to close out of this? You asked me the other night, didn't you?
Yeah.
When I was playing the game, streaming at a 1080p at about 2 megabits a second. A video game that I was playing on the computer, not a capture card. I was in TeamSpeak, which is like a voice chat service. I had the live stream open. I had Twitter open. I had a bunch of stuff open. The CPU load was like 24% while I was streaming at 1080p and playing.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Very impressive. I was very surprised to see how well.
And your room wasn't like an oven.
It was not, because it's Intel now. Before it would have been an oven, yes. This Intel machine is so cool. I mean, it's cold in my room now. I've never had that before.
Excellent.
Exactly.
Tim's asking, what do you have in it?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I've got a total list of the specs. Give me a second here. Somewhere. I will post them. Give me a second.
That's going to be a good way to depress everybody. Oh, look at the specs of that. That's not fair.
That's a raw paste. I'm sorry. It's not formatted properly.
okay. Vengeance.
Corsair Vengeance is some nice RAM. So that Vengeance is nice RAM.
Yeah, what a name for RAM. Vengeance.
That's the Vengeance.
Yeah, Nick likes it too. I mean, up till that machine, every time you did any kind of podcast or whatever, you always had to worry about overheating, and now you don't even look at it anymore.
No, now I don't even. Now my room doesn't even get hot, so I don't even have to worry about overheating. It's literally impossible.
Nice.
It's very nice.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the price of RAM is very, very high right now.
Well, but you had to get it, and that's it. You had to pay for
exactly. You don't really have a choice.
It's still a lot cheaper than what it used to be years ago, believe me.
Yeah. Well, compared to when I built my machine that I was using previous, it was very expensive.
Yeah, but it's new technology.
That'll do it.
Yep, exactly. Okay, let's see what else. Hardware hacker and security researcher Sami Kamkar has released a slick new device that masquerades as a typical USB wall charger, but in fact houses a keylogger capable of recording keystrokes from nearby wireless keyboards. The device is known as Key Sweeper and Comcar has released the source code and instructions for building one of your own. The components are inexpensive and easily available and include an Arduino microcontroller, the charger itself, and a handful of other bits. When it's plugged into the wall socket, the key sweeper will connect to a nearby Microsoft wireless keyboard and passively sniff, decrypt, and record all the keystrokes and send them back to the operator over the web.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Very much so.
So now you have to be careful of these things too.
Got to be careful of everything.
Yeah.
As if there isn't enough surveillance already.
Right.
But you say he's made it open source.
He,
That's great. Everybody can make one. now.
everybody can make one now.
You get a keylogger.
Even
you get a
Lenovo.
keylogger. You've already got one. That was very insensitive, Am9. Take that back. Even Lenovo.
The interior ministers of France, Germany, Latvia, Austria, Belgium,
Latvia.
Denmark, Spain, Italy, and Netherlands. What do you say?
Nothing.
Poland, Sweden, and the UK said in a statement that while the internet must remain in scrupulous observance of fundamental freedoms, a forum for free expression in full respect of the law, ISPs need to help, quote, create the condition of a swift reporting of material that aims to incite hatred and terror, and the condition of its removing where appropriate / possible, end quote. It seems to say the least, an awkward reaction to what was in part a free speech related attack. The left-wing Charlie Hebdo has itself frequently been accused of hate speech for its portrayal of Muslims and other on that front. A German newspaper that reprinted blasphemous Charlie Hebdo cartoons of Muhammad in the wake of the attack was firebombed in the early hours of Sunday morning with no injuries. Others that did the same remain under police guard. So now, as an ISP, I was interested in that story. And would I have a problem reporting something if I see that somebody's trying to incite illegal activities, terror, whatever, that can hurt other people? I would have no problem reporting that.
Yeah.
Would I have a problem reporting somebody illegally downloading music? I would have big problem reporting that. But when
Why?
it comes to others,
Hold on. Why?
because it's not my place to report somebody who's just
Okay, no.
downloaded something.
No, I was just curious. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I was just wondering what your logic behind that
I
was.
mean,
Okay.
if they get a warrant and they come and they want to look at the logs, there's nothing I can do. But if I see somebody inciting to go and firebomb, attack an office, a house, a person, yes, I would. If I was privy to it, I would take steps right away. Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
There's a big difference between somebody getting injured or murdered or
Right.
whatever and downloading something that might have copyright attached.
Right. I mean,
Massive difference.
they want you to report everything.
That's a little insane.
Yeah, Tim, you did it. Now I've got you here, so that's all that was needed. how should I put it? Law enforcement really wants an easy way to be able to solve crimes, uh, get information. And I saw a story yesterday about how the quote unquote, what they say, the unsophisticated criminals, like those two kids that stole the iPad and wallet of this guy, and how they got on the iPad and put a video of themselves talking about the fact and what they did and how they did it, and police could get to them. And there are some others that do that, and they say that they can't help themselves. They want to brag about it, and that helps law enforcement. Okay, that's fine. But again, there's the limit of what one should take an initiative on to report. I mean, we got to be smart about it. If somebody downloaded a piece of music, how, I mean, and I don't believe that there's anybody, including me, that did not download music and played it in a quote-unquote illegal way. Everybody did that. Everybody does this. If you downloaded stuff from Napster, if you're downloading music from YouTube, you're not supposed to do that and replay it. Why would you go and report such a person unless you're trying to cause them problem? And believe you me, you will be in trouble too at that point, as in, how did you find out, and what? I mean, even though you just heard it from the person, the authorities would want to know if you did something illegal to tap into their network. So you need to be careful about what you're doing here. And I'm not preaching look the other way on crime. That's not what I'm saying. But there is crime and there is crime. Anybody that knew that these two guys or group, whatever, that went and attacked Charlie Hebdo, if they knew that something like this is going to happen, that they're criminals for not letting the authorities know that something like this is going to happen. I'm not saying somebody knew. I'm just saying if somebody knew that. And the computer today gives you a lot. I mean, some people sit there for hours in front of the computer and reading and going into forums, and they may be able to decipher something from bits of information. Arnie Carl puts in test. I guess you had to go out and come back in, and that's why. I just found out something about the chat here. It was empty, and there was no way that I could get in. I mean, to see what everybody else is seeing. I put a /quit, and it went empty. I pressed period and hit enter, thinking that it's going to prompt me for a name, but it didn't. It still remembered it, but it put everything back. And everybody that's in the chat is there, and the chat goes all the way to the beginning. So I hate it when you don't know what you did that fixed it.
Got to be a glitch somewhere. Perhaps it went for a tea break.
Alan is saying, how about making it harder for others to, I suppose it says go without being obvious. ISPs block out news groups with questionable content. I don't think we never blocked news groups.
Our news groups have been blocked from ISPs for a long time. At one time, in the UK, you would get access to the news groups automatically through your ISP. But
Yeah.
When it all started kicking off over here about NZBs are us and newsbin.com, all the ISPs dropped their news groups.
At this point, I think we just tap into level 3's. It's been years since I did anything with the news groups, but it just brings it from them.
Same here. I used to pay a subscription to a newsgroup service for, you could get up to, I don't know, whatever gigabyte cap on it, or you could get unlimited, which would allow you to access sites that were, posted the NZBs and things like that.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that for years now.
Yeah, newsgroups were something. In the beginning, that was the thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, they've been around for a hell of a lot longer than torrents. Torrents seem to be the
newsgroups were there before the web.
Still,
it was before the web.
Yeah. Whatever you want's available still. A little bit more difficult in one aspect, but in another aspect with NZBs, it's extremely easy. I remember the old days of having to download 47 different links and then sort of marry them and par them all back up together again was a nightmare. These days, it's just one click and it's done.
That is a fact.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Any other questions from the chat? Any other news groups did not come out of EchoMail. EchoMail came out of news groups. Alan. News groups were there way before EchoMail was. Because I remember when we started EchoMail, we were trying to model it after news groups.
You started EchoMail, or you started an EchoMail server?
Well, FidoNet started EchoMail.
Oh, okay.
And it was everybody was. I mean, I always had ideas. I'm not a programmer, but I always had ideas, and it was people always ask questions. But how should we do this? How should we do that? So I feel like I was part of it.
Cool.
But yeah, that's how it came out. No, news groups have been there. Shush, I don't know. And FidoNet had before EchoMail had gateways to newsgroups, so you could bring newsgroups into FidoNet. It was very, very complicated and cumbersome, and well, we do our own.
And I have some breaking news for you.
Yeah.
It's almost 40 degrees outside.
Over there?
Sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to.
I wonder what it is here. Anybody still has snow on the ground? Or white stuff?
Over 6 feet.
Right now in Raleigh, it is 54.
50. It is not 54 here.
Yeah, hopefully by the end of the day, there'll be nothing white outside.
I wish.
All right, Tim.
It'll be here till May.
Well, before you know it, it's going to be gone, whether you like it or not. Nick, you know that.
I want it gone.
Huh?
I said I want it gone.
Wow, 61 in Charlotte. Yeah, I guess it's coming from the west to the east. So, Paul, do you have anything left outside? This was it would have been so much fun, but it was not, because it wasn't snow. Even though it snowed, it wasn't snow. It was, you go outside and you need ice skates. Nice, Paul. All right. So I guess if there's nothing else to talk about, we can end it. It's time.
I guess so.
Going once, going twice.
No. Stop.
All right. Well, Steve, thank you.
Thank you, Amnon. Thanks, Nick, and everybody in the chat.
Nick,
Good one.
thank you.
Pleasure.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always catch us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, it is Brunch with Gisela, where she talks about different subjects, including homeopathy for pets and people. Tonight at 8 o'clock, it is the Tanya Love Show. So we'll see you later.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.